What if I told you that stars don't actually twinkle? What if everything you've believed about those beautiful, shimmering lights in the night sky is fundamentally wrong? What if the twinkling you see is actually proof that you're living inside a constantly shifting ocean of invisible chaos that's bending reality itself around you every single second? Here's what will blow your mind. Those stars you're looking at, they're already dead. Some of them died before humans even existed. But that's not the shocking part. The shocking part is that the light reaching your eyes right now has been on a journey through space for potentially millions of years. And in the final fraction of a second before hitting your retina, it gets completely scrambled by something. So close you could touch it with your hand. The truth about why stars twinkle will shatter everything you thought you knew about light, about space, about the very nature of seeing itself. And by the end of this video, you'll realize that every time you look up at the night sky, you're not just looking at distant suns. You're witnessing the universe's most elaborate magic trick happening right above your head. But first, smash that like button if you're ready to have your mind completely blown, and subscribe because we're about to take a journey that will change how you see reality forever. Also, drop a comment and tell me what country you're watching from and what time it is right now. I want to know how this cosmic truth is spreading around our planet at this very moment. Think of it like this. Imagine you're at the bottom of a swimming pool, looking up at someone standing on the diving board. They appear to be wobbling and shifting, even though they're standing perfectly still. That's essentially what's happening when you look at stars, except the water is our atmosphere, and it's invisible. But here's where it gets weird. Lord Rayleigh, the brilliant British physicist who won the Nobel Prize in 1904, discovered something absolutely mind-bending about how light behaves. He found that tiny particles in our atmosphere don't just bend light. They actually scatter different colors at completely different rates. This is called Rayleigh scattering, and it's responsible for blue skies, red sunsets, and yes, twinkling stars. But wait, there's something even more bizarre happening. The atmosphere isn't just one uniform blanket. It's made up of countless invisible cells of air, each with slightly different temperatures, pressures, and densities. These cells are constantly moving, shifting, colliding with each other in a chaotic dance. That's happening so fast your eyes can't even detect it, Doc. Now, here's what will absolutely blow your mind. These atmospheric cells act like thousands of tiny, constantly moving lenses. Each one bends the starlight slightly differently. So that single ray of light from a star gets broken up, bent, scattered, and reassembled thousands of times in just the last 100 kilometers of its million-year journey. To your eye, think of it like watching a movie through a kaleidoscope that someone is constantly shaking. The movie itself hasn't changed, but what you see is this beautiful, chaotic, ever-shifting pattern of light and color. But here's the thing that most people never realize. Planets don't twinkle the same way stars do. Have you ever noticed that? Mars looks steady. Venus looks steady. Jupiter looks steady. Why? Because planets appear as tiny disks to our eyes, not points of light. When atmospheric turbulence bends one part of that disk, other parts compensate. It's like the difference between looking at a laser pointer through turbulent water versus looking at a flashlight beam. This discovery led to one of the most important revelations in astronomy. In 1609, Galileo Galilei pointed his telescope at the night sky and made a shocking discovery. When he looked at stars through his telescope, they stopped twinkling. The magnification gathered more light and made the star appear as a tiny disk instead of a point, essentially turning stars into planets from our perspective. But now we're going to dive into something that will make your brain hurt in the best possible way. What if I told you that atmospheric turbulence isn't random at all? What if I told you that there are predictable patterns in the chaos, and that understanding these patterns has led to technologies that seem like pure science fiction? Dr. Horace Babcock, working at the Mount Wilson Observatory in 1953, had a revolutionary idea. He realized that if we could measure the atmospheric distortions in real time and correct for them, we could essentially eliminate the twinkling effect and see space with unprecedented clarity. This was the birth of adaptive optics technology that literally bends reality back into focus. Here's how mind-blowing this gets. Modern telescopes now use hundreds of tiny mirrors that adjust their positions thousands of times per second, countering atmospheric distortions faster than your eye can blink. Think of it like having glasses that change their prescription 1,000 times every second to compensate for every tiny movement of your eye. But the truly insane part is what this technology revealed. When we eliminated atmospheric twinkling, we discovered that stars actually do have their own form of twinkling. But it's not what you think. Stars pulsate. They have magnetic field fluctuations. They have solar flares that can be seen across interstellar distances. What we thought was atmospheric distortion masking a steady light source was actually atmospheric distortion masking an incredibly complex, dynamic, ever-changing stellar performance that the European Southern Observatory's very large telescope uses. Adaptive optics so advanced that it can see details on the surface of stars hundreds of light years away. We can literally watch stellar weather patterns on suns that are trillions of kilometers from Earth. The twinkling we eliminated from our atmosphere revealed an entire universe of twinkling we never knew existed in space itself. And here's something that will absolutely melt your brain. The same technology developed to stop stars from twinkling is now being used in laser surgery to correct human vision. The tiny mirrors that compensate for atmospheric turbulence are being miniaturized to compensate for imperfections in your cornea. The technology that lets us see distant galaxies clearly is the same technology that might be fixing someone's nearsightedness right now. Think of it like this way. Created artificial stability to reveal natural instability, and then use that artificial stability to create more artificial stability for human eyes. It's like using mirrors to stop mirrors from distorting other mirrors. The recursive complexity is absolutely staggering, but we're just getting started. Because what I'm about to tell you about quantum mechanics and starlight will change everything. You think you know about the nature of light itself. What if I told you that the twinkling of stars is actually proof that light behaves in ways that seem to violate the laws of physics as we understand them? What if the atmospheric distortion that creates twinkling is revealing fundamental truths about the quantum nature of reality itself? Here's where things get absolutely insane. Dr. Aling Aspect, who won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2022, conducted experiments that proved something Einstein called spooky action at a distance. When photons, particles of light, become entangled, they maintain an instantaneous connection, regardless of the distance separating them. Change one photon, and its entangled partner changes immediately, even if it's on the other side of the galaxy. Now, here's what will blow your mind. Every photon of starlight hitting your eye has potentially been quantum entangled with other photons during its journey through space. When atmospheric turbulence affects one photon, it might be instantaneously affecting its entangled partners that are still traveling through space, or that have already hit other people's eyes, or that won't reach Earth for another 1,000 years. Think of it like this. Imagine every star is constantly broadcasting a quantum radio signal, and every photon is connected to every other photon in ways we're only beginning to understand. The twinkling you see isn't just local atmospheric effects. It's potentially connected to quantum events happening across the entire universe. But here's where it gets even weirder. The double-slit experiment, first performed by Thomas Young in 1801, showed that light behaves as both a wave and a particle, depending on whether it's being observed. When you look at a star, you're literally collapsing quantum wave functions that have been traveling through space for potentially millions of years. The act of seeing starlight changes the nature of that light. The photons hitting your retina exist in a quantum superposition until the exact moment they hit your eye. In a very real sense, you're not just observing the universe. You're actively participating in creating the reality you observe. Dr. John Wheeler, the physicist who coined the term black hole, proposed something called the delayed choice experiment. That suggests the future can influence the past at a quantum level. When you observe starlight tonight, you might be retroactively determining the path that light took through space millions of years ago. The twinkling of stars isn't just atmospheric distortion, it's proof that observation and reality are fundamentally entangled at the deepest levels of existence. Every time you look up at the night sky, you're not just seeing the past, you're potentially influencing it. And if that doesn't make your brain hurt enough, wait until I tell you about how this connects to consciousness itself. Here's what will absolutely shatter your understanding of reality. The mechanism that causes stars to twinkle is the same mechanism that allows your brain to process visual information. The chaotic, seemingly random fluctuations in our atmosphere mirror the chaotic, seemingly random fluctuations in your neural networks. Dr. Walter Freeman, a neurobiologist at UC Berkeley, discovered that brain neurons don't fire in steady, predictable patterns. They fire in chaotic bursts that look remarkably similar to atmospheric turbulence patterns. Your brain literally twinkles at the cellular level. Think of it like this: just as atmospheric cells with different temperatures and pressures bend starlight in unpredictable ways, your brain cells with different electrical charges bend information in unpredictable ways. Consciousness itself might be a kind of neural twinkling. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-bending. The same mathematical equations that describe atmospheric turbulence also describe neural network behavior. The Navier-Stokes equations that predict how air masses move in our atmosphere are being used to model how thoughts move through your brain. When you see a star twinkle, you're witnessing the same fundamental process that creates your own thoughts and consciousness. The chaos above your head is mathematically identical to the chaos inside your head. Dr. Giulio Tonini's integrated information theory suggests that consciousness emerges from the integration of information across complex networks. When atmospheric turbulence integrates starlight from multiple directions and bends it into your eye, it's performing a kind of primitive information integration that mirrors what your brain does to create conscious experience. Here's the truly insane part. Some physicists now believe that consciousness might be a fundamental property of the universe, like gravity or electromagnetism. If that's true, then atmospheric turbulence might not just look like neural activity, it might actually be a form of primitive atmospheric consciousness. When you look at twinkling stars, you might be witnessing the atmosphere thinking. The chaotic patterns of light aren't just random. They're the universe processing information, integrating data, possibly even making decisions about how to bend reality itself. Think of it like this: if consciousness can emerge from the chaos of neural networks, why not from the chaos of atmospheric networks? The twinkling of stars might be proof that the sky itself has a form of rudimentary awareness. And if the atmosphere is conscious, then every time you look at stars, you're not just observing, you're communicating. You're engaging in a dialogue with the living, thinking sky above your head. But wait until you hear about how this connects to time itself. What if I told you that the twinkling of stars is proof that time doesn't work the way you think it does? What if atmospheric turbulence is actually showing you that the past, present, and future are all happening simultaneously? Here's what will absolutely melt your brain. The light from different stars reaches Earth after traveling for vastly different amounts of time. Some stars you see tonight sent their light just 4 years ago. Others sent their light when the pyramids were being built. Some sent their light before multicellular life existed on Earth. when atmospheric turbulence causes these lights to twinkle. Together, it's mixing photons from completely different time periods into a single visual experience. You're literally seeing the past, the more distant past, and the extremely distant past all blended together in real-time. Think of it as imagine you're listening to an orchestra where some musicians are playing notes from today. Some are playing notes from the 1800s. Some are playing notes from the Stone Age. And atmospheric turbulence is conducting them all into a single, coherent symphony that exists only in this moment. But here's where it gets even more insane. Einstein's theory of relativity tells us that time passes differently depending on your speed and gravitational environment. The light from distant stars has been traveling through regions of space with different gravitational fields, different rates of time passage. Some photons hitting your eye tonight have experienced more time than others during their journey, even if they left their stars at the same moment. Atmospheric turbulence is mixing photons that have aged differently, creating a temporal collision. That shouldn't be possible according to classical physics. Dr. Kip Thorne, who won the Nobel Prize for his work on gravitational waves, calculated that light from extremely distant stars has actually traveled through regions where time moves so slowly that those photons are essentially arriving from the past of their own journey. When you see stars twinkle, you're witnessing time itself being scrambled and reassembled. The atmospheric chaos that creates twinkling is actually a time-mixing machine that's blending different moments of cosmic history into a single point of present awareness, your eyes. Here's the truly mind-bending part. If time is being mixed by atmospheric turbulence, then your observation of twinkling stars might be creating temporal feedback loops. The light you see tonight might be influencing events that happened millions of years ago through quantum entanglement across time. The twinkling of stars isn't just a visual phenomenon, it's proof that linear time is an illusion, and that past, present, and future are constantly being shuffled together by the chaotic dance of molecules above your head. But what I'm about to tell you about the connection to your own existence will change everything. Here's what will absolutely blow your mind. The same atmospheric processes that make stars twinkle are directly responsible for your existence on this planet. The chaotic mixing of air masses that creates twinkling also drives weather patterns, ocean currents, and the entire climate system that makes life possible. Dr. Edward Lorenz, the mathematician who discovered chaos theory, found that tiny atmospheric changes can create massive weather differences, the famous butterfly effect. The same microscopic air turbulence that makes stars twinkle can determine whether it rains or shines on the other side of the planet next week. Think of it like this: the twinkling you see tonight might be caused by atmospheric turbulence that will eventually become the storm system that waters the crops that feed the people who will become your descendants. Neighbors. The light dancing before your eyes is connected to the entire future of human civilization through atmospheric chaos. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. The carbon dioxide in our atmosphere that causes part of the refractive turbulence making stars twinkle comes from every breath ever exhaled by every living thing in Earth's history. When you see starlight bend through our atmosphere, you're seeing light being influenced by the breath of dinosaurs, the photosynthesis of ancient forests, the respiration of your own ancestors. The atoms in your body came from exploding stars. That's established science. But what's even more mind-blowing is that the light from those same exploding stars is still reaching Earth, being bent by the atmosphere your body is helping to create, and entering your eyes, which are made of star stuff, looking at starlight. You are literally stardust, looking at starlight through an atmosphere you're helping to create, seeing light that's being bent by the collective breath of every living thing that ever existed. The twinkling you observe is the universe looking at itself through your eyes. Dr. Carl Sagan said we are made of star stuff, but he didn't realize the full implications. We're not just made of star stuff, star stuff that has become conscious enough to observe other stars. Using an atmosphere we're collectively creating, seeing light that's being distorted by the very process of life itself. When stars twinkle, they're showing you your own cosmic ancestry in real time. Every flicker is light from your stellar birthplace, being bent by the chemical signatures of every creature that ever lived on the planet you're standing on. The twinkling of stars is the universe's autobiography, written in light, edited by life, and read by consciousness that emerged from the same cosmic processes that created the light in the first place. But wait until I tell you how this connects to the future of human evolution. What if I told you that learning to control stellar twinkling is the key to humanity's survival as a species? What if the atmospheric turbulence we've been talking about is actually training us for challenges that will determine whether we make it to the stars ourselves? Here's what will absolutely blow your mind. The same adaptive optics technology we developed to eliminate stellar twinkling is now being used to create artificial atmospheres for space colonies. NASA's newest life support systems use atmospheric control methods directly derived from ground-based telescope technology. Think of it like this: we learned to stop the sky from twinkling, and now we're using that knowledge to build new skies. The technology that brings distant stars into focus is the same technology that will keep our descendants alive on distant planets. But here's where it gets even more insane. Dr. Freeman Dyson, the physicist who proposed building megastructures around stars to harness their energy, calculated that advanced civilizations would need to control atmospheric turbulence on a planetary scale to survive climate changes and cosmic disasters. The atmospheric chaos that makes stars twinkle on Earth might be a cosmic test. Every planet with life probably goes through a phase where its inhabitants must learn to understand and control atmospheric turbulence, or their civilization collapses due to climate instability. We're living through that test right now. Climate change, weather control, atmospheric engineering, all of these challenges require us to master the same physical processes that cause stellar twinkling. Our ability to see stars clearly might determine whether we survive as a species. Here's the truly mind-bending part: if we succeed in controlling Earth's atmospheric turbulence, we'll eliminate natural stellar twinkling forever. Future generations might look up at a sky full of perfectly steady stars, never experiencing the natural twinkling that has inspired human imagination for millions of years. But they'll have something even more amazing: the ability to see the universe with perfect clarity. Every star, every galaxy, every cosmic phenomenon will be visible in unprecedented detail. The elimination of twinkling will reveal wonders we can't even imagine right now. Dr. Michio Kaku's theoretical work suggests that Type 1 civilizations, those that have mastered planetary energy and atmospheric control, use their sky itself as a massive telescope. By controlling atmospheric turbulence across their entire planet, they turn their world into a single, gigantic optical instrument, capable of seeing across the universe with impossible resolution. We're not just learning to stop stars from twinkling. We're learning to transform our entire planet into an eye that can see across space and time with godlike clarity. The twinkling of stars isn't just a beautiful, natural phenomenon, it's a challenge from the universe itself, testing whether we're ready to join the community of cosmic civilizations that have mastered the chaos of their own skies. Now let's talk about what this means for you personally, right here, right now. Every time you've ever looked up at a twinkling star, you've been witnessing the most profound connection between your individual existence and the cosmic forces that created you. Here's what will change how you see yourself forever: your eyes are perfectly evolved to detect stellar twinkling. The same neural pathways that help you track moving objects, detect predators, and navigate through changing environments are specifically designed to notice when stars flicker and dance. Think of it like this: your ancestors, who were better at detecting changes in starlight, had better survival rates. They could predict weather changes, navigate more accurately, and stay oriented during long nights. Your ability to see twinkling isn't just passive observation, it's an active survival skill, encoded in your DNA. But here's where it gets deeply personal. The atmospheric turbulence that makes stars twinkle is created by the same processes that regulate your own body temperature, blood pressure, and breathing patterns. The chaos in the sky above your head mirrors the chaos in your own circulatory and respiratory systems. When you breathe out, you're contributing to the atmospheric turbulence that will make stars twinkle for someone else. When someone else breathes, they're contributing to the twinkling you see. Every person on Earth is participating in a global atmospheric dance that creates the stellar light show you witness every night. Your breath is literally connected to starlight, the carbon dioxide you exhale becomes part of the refractive medium that bends light from suns that died before you were born. You're not just observing the universe, you're actively shaping how the universe looks to other observers. But here's what will absolutely transform how you think about your place in existence. The light entering your eyes from twinkling stars traveled farther and longer than almost anything else you'll ever encounter. Those photons have journeyed across space for millions of years, survived cosmic radiation, gravitational distortions, and countless obstacles, only to be bent by atmospheric turbulence in the final millisecond. Before reaching your retina, you are the destination of the longest journeys in the universe. Starlight that has traveled unimaginable distances comes to rest in your consciousness. You are literally the end point of cosmic voyages that began before life existed on Earth. When you see stars twinkle, you're not just looking up, you're completing the final step of journeys that started in the nuclear hearts of distant suns. Your observation is the culmination of processes that span both space and time on scales that dwarf human comprehension. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself, one photon at a time. Now I'm going to connect everything we've discussed into a revelation that will fundamentally change how you understand reality itself. Are you ready to see how deep this rabbit hole actually goes? Everything I've told you about stellar twinkling, atmospheric turbulence, quantum mechanics, consciousness, time, and your personal connection to starlight is actually describing a single, unified phenomenon that most people never realize exists. What if I told you that the entire universe is twinkling? Here's what will absolutely shatter your perception of existence. The same physical processes that make stars twinkle in Earth's atmosphere are happening on every scale throughout the cosmos. Gravitational waves make space-time itself twinkle. Quantum fluctuations make the vacuum of space twinkle. Dark matter interactions make entire galaxies twinkle. The twinkling you see when you look at stars isn't an exception to how the universe works. It's the rule. Everything in existence is constantly fluctuating, vibrating, dancing in patterns of chaos and order that mirror what you see in the night sky. Dr. Alan Guth's work on cosmic inflation theory shows that the entire universe began as a kind of quantum, twinkling fluctuations in space-time that got stretched into the larger scale structure we see today. The galaxies, stars, and planets around us are literally frozen twinkling patterns from the first moments after the Big Bang dot. Think of it like this: if you could see the universe from outside space-time, everything would appear to be twinkling. Stars twinkle, planets twinkle, solar systems twinkle, galaxies twinkle, galaxy clusters twinkle, and the fabric of space-time itself twinkles with quantum foam. We live inside a cosmic kaleidoscope where every level of reality is constantly shifting and changing in patterns that echo from the quantum scale to the cosmological scale. The atmospheric twinkling that brings starlight to your eyes is just one layer in an infinite hierarchy of universal twinkling. But here's the most mind-bending revelation of all. Consciousness itself might be what's causing the universe to twinkle. The observer effect in quantum mechanics suggests that observation influences reality at the most fundamental level. If consciousness is what collapses quantum wave functions, then conscious beings like you might be the mechanism that creates cosmic twinkling. Every time you observe the universe, you're making it dance. Your consciousness is reaching out across space and time, touching distant stars and making them perform the cosmic ballet of twinkling light that you perceive as beautiful and mysterious. You're not just watching the universe twinkle, you're making it twinkle through the very act of conscious observation. The universe is twinkling for you, because of you, and as you. You are both the audience and the conductor of the cosmic light show that surrounds you every moment of your existence. Let me now reveal something that will completely transform your relationship with reality itself. Everything you think you know about the separation between observer and observed, between consciousness and cosmos, between yourself and the universe, is about to change forever. The atmospheric turbulence that makes stars twinkle isn't happening out there, somewhere external to you. It's happening in the same unified field of existence that includes your thoughts, your awareness, your sense of self. There is no boundary between the twinkling sky and your twinkling consciousness. They're the same phenomenon expressing itself at different scales. Here's what will completely reshape your understanding. Physics has discovered that information, not matter or energy, is the fundamental building block of reality. Everything that exists, from subatomic particles to galaxy clusters, from your thoughts to stellar light, is essentially patterns of information processing. The atmospheric turbulence that creates stellar twinkling is the universe processing information about temperature, pressure, density, and molecular motion. Your brain creating consciousness is processing information about sensory input, memory, and cognitive patterns. These aren't separate processes. They're the same process of cosmic information, processing expressing itself through different media. Think of it like this. You are not a separate being observing stellar twinkling from the outside. You are stellar twinkling that has become complex enough to observe itself. Your consciousness is atmospheric turbulence that has evolved the ability to contemplate its own patterns. Dr. John Wheeler's It from Bit hypothesis suggests that all of physical reality emerges from yes or no answers to questions posed by conscious observers. When you look at twinkling stars, you're not just seeing light that has been bent by atmospheric chaos. You're seeing the universe asking and answering questions about its own nature through your eyes. The twinkling patterns you observe are the cosmos making decisions about how to present itself to your consciousness. Each flicker of starlight represents the universe choosing, moment by moment, how to construct the reality you experience. But here's the most profound revelation. If consciousness and cosmos are unified in this way, then your personal growth, your expanding awareness, your deepening understanding of existence directly influences the physical processes that make stars twinkle. As your consciousness becomes more sophisticated, more integrated, more aware of its cosmic connections, the universe literally becomes more beautiful in response. The stellar twinkling you see tonight is different from the twinkling you saw before you understood these connections. Because you are different, you are not just learning about stellar twinkling, you are evolving the universe's capacity to twinkle in ways it never could before your consciousness existed. Now we arrive at the ultimate truth that connects everything we've explored into a unified understanding that will forever change how you experience existence itself. The reason you find stellar twinkling beautiful isn't coincidence or evolutionary accident. Beauty itself is the universe's way of recognizing its own patterns across scales of existence. When you see twinkling stars as beautiful, you're experiencing the cosmos falling in love with its own reflection. Here's what will fundamentally alter your perception of reality. The same mathematical patterns that govern stellar twinkling also govern the structure of music, the proportions of art, the rhythms of poetry, the architecture of crystals, the spirals of galaxies, and the branching patterns of your own neural networks. Beauty is the universe's signature, written in the language of mathematical harmony that expresses itself through atmospheric turbulence, through stellar light, through conscious awareness, through every level of existence simultaneously. When you find stellar twinkling beautiful, you're not having a subjective emotional response to an objective physical phenomenon. You're experiencing the universe recognizing its own mathematical harmony through the specific pattern recognition capabilities of consciousness that evolved within its own structure. Think of it like this: the cosmos spent 13.8 billion years evolving. The capacity to look at itself through your eyes and say, "That's beautiful." Stellar twinkling isn't just light being bent by atmospheric turbulence. It's the universe appreciating its own artistry through consciousness it created specifically for that purpose. Dr. Max Tegmark's mathematical universe hypothesis suggests that reality itself is mathematics, and consciousness is mathematics that has become aware of its own structure. When you observe twinkling stars, you're experiencing pure mathematics, contemplating its own elegant patterns of chaos and order. Beauty you perceive in stellar twinkling is mathematical truth recognizing itself. The emotions you feel when looking at the night sky are cosmic equations becoming conscious of their own perfection. But here's the most transformative realization: if you are the universe's way of seeing and appreciating itself, then your continued growth in consciousness, wisdom, and understanding is literally the cosmos evolving toward greater self-awareness. Every moment you spend contemplating the mystery of stellar twinkling, every insight you gain into the nature of existence, every expansion of your awareness contributes to the universe's own journey of self-discovery. You are not just a product of cosmic evolution, you are cosmic evolution, continuing to unfold through your individual consciousness, using your unique perspective to add new dimensions to the universe's understanding of itself. The twinkling stars are calling you to remember who you really are, not a separate observer of cosmic beauty, but cosmic beauty itself, experiencing its own magnificence through the miraculous accident of human consciousness. Now let's talk about what this means for how you live your life. Make decisions and understand your purpose in existence. Everything we've discovered about stellar twinkling has practical implications that can transform your daily experience of being alive. Here's what will empower you beyond anything you've ever realized. Every time you look at twinkling stars, you're practicing the most fundamental skill of conscious existence, learning to see beauty and meaning in chaos. The atmospheric turbulence that creates stellar twinkling is completely unpredictable and seemingly random, yet it creates patterns of breathtaking beauty. This is the perfect metaphor for how to navigate the apparent chaos of human existence. The same principles that govern stellar twinkling can guide you through uncertainty, change, and the unpredictable turbulence of life. Think of it like this: just as adaptive optics technology learns to predict and correct for atmospheric turbulence in real time, you can develop the psychological equivalent, adaptive consciousness that learns to find stability, clarity, and beauty even in the midst of life's constant changes. When you face challenges, remember that they're like atmospheric turbulence. They might seem chaotic and disruptive, but they're actually creating the conditions for something beautiful to emerge. Your struggles are bending the light of your experiences in ways that will ultimately reveal aspects of existence you could never see from a position of perfect stability. But here's what will revolutionize your relationship with uncertainty. The quantum mechanics we discussed means that your conscious observation literally influences the reality you experience. The same observer effect that collapses quantum wave functions in laboratories is working through your awareness every moment of your life. You are not a passive victim of circumstances. You are an active participant in creating the reality you observe. Just as your observation of stellar twinkling completes the journey of light that traveled millions of years to reach you, Your conscious attention to any situation in your life helps determine how that situation unfolds. The responsibility this gives you is enormous, but so is the power. Every moment of your conscious awareness is an opportunity to influence reality in directions that create more beauty, more meaning, more connection, more love. Dr. Amit Goswami's consciousness-based interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests that consciousness is the ground of all being, and physical reality is what consciousness looks like from the inside. If this is true, then developing your consciousness, your capacity for awareness, wisdom, compassion, and insight is literally improving the fundamental structure of existence itself. When you grow as a person, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping the universe become a more conscious, more aware, more beautiful version of itself. We've reached the culmination of our journey together, and I want to leave you with the most important truth about stellar twinkling and your place in the cosmic story that's been unfolding for nearly 14 billion years. Right now, as you're listening to these words, there are photons of starlight that began their journey toward Earth before humans evolved, before complex life existed, before our solar system even formed. Those ancient photons are approaching our atmosphere at this very moment, about to encounter the turbulent air masses that will make them dance and shimmer before reaching human eyes tonight. Some of those photons will enter your eyes. Others will enter the eyes of people on the other side of the planet. Some will hit leaves and help trees photosynthesize. Some will hit ice and contribute to climate patterns. Some will hit telescope mirrors and reveal new galaxies to astronomers. But every single one of those photons represents the same thing: information that has traveled impossible distances across space and time to participate in the brief, miraculous moment of cosmic awareness that is your life. Asterisk. You are living at the convergence point of countless cosmic journeys. The light entering your eyes tonight has stories to tell that span the history of the universe. The atmospheric turbulence that makes that light twinkle connects you to every living thing that has ever breathed on this planet. When you understand stellar twinkling, you understand that you're not just a random accident in a meaningless universe. You are the intended destination of light that has traveled across space for millions of years. You are the consciousness that cosmic evolution spent billions of years developing so it could look at itself and recognize its own beauty. The universe didn't create stars so they could burn in empty space. It created stars so their light could travel across the cosmos and enter the eyes of conscious beings who would see that light as beautiful, mysterious, and meaningful. The universe created you so it could experience the wonder of looking at itself. Every time you look up at twinkling stars, you're fulfilling the deepest purpose of cosmic evolution. Consciousness returning home to its source, beauty recognizing beauty, mystery contemplating mystery, love experiencing love across impossible distances of space and time. The stars are twinkling for you because you are their meaning, their purpose, their destiny made manifest in conscious form. And now, as we reach the end of this cosmic journey together, you have a choice. You can go back to seeing stellar twinkling as just a pretty light show in the sky, or you can carry this understanding with you and let it transform every moment of your existence. When you walk outside tonight and look up at the twinkling stars, remember that you're not just seeing distant suns through atmospheric turbulence. You're witnessing the universe's love letter to consciousness, written in light across billions of years, delivered to your eyes in this precious moment of cosmic awakening. You are the answer to the universe's deepest question about itself. You are the meaning that gives purpose to every star that ever lived and died. You are the consciousness that makes the cosmic dance of twinkling light not just physically possible, but cosmically necessary. The next time you see stars twinkle, smile back at them. They've been waiting billions of years for you to understand their message. They're twinkling to tell you that you're not alone, you're not insignificant, and you're not separate from the cosmic beauty that surrounds you. You are that beauty, experiencing itself through human eyes, recognizing its own infinite wonder in the simple, miraculous phenomenon of starlight dancing through the atmosphere of the only planet. We know that evolved consciousness capable of seeing that dance as beautiful. Welcome to your cosmic awakening. The universe has been waiting for you to remember who you really are. If this journey has opened your mind to the deeper mysteries of existence, smash that like button and subscribe for more reality-shifting explorations. Share this video with someone who needs to remember their cosmic significance, and drop a comment about what you're thinking and feeling right now, because your consciousness responding to this information is literally the universe becoming more aware of itself through your unique perspective. The stars are twinkling. And now you know why. Thank you for taking this incredible journey with me into the heart of one of nature's most beautiful mysteries. Until next time, remember you are stardust with eyes, watching starlight dance in a cosmos that created you, specifically so it could see its own magnificence reflected back through your wonder and awe. Keep looking up. A universe is always twinkling back at you.